Story time. One night, my parents were out and I was home alone. It was already past midnight. I was watching videos when I suddenly got the feeling that someone was watching me. I tried to ignore it. But then I heard footsteps upstairs. Slow, steady. Walking across the hallway, I froze. The weird thing was, those footsteps reminded me of one of my classmates. He had a very recognizable way of walking because of an injury he'd gotten years ago, and somehow the footsteps sounded exactly like his. I got nervous and called my parents. They told me I was just overthinking because I was alone in the house, so I tried to calm down. A few minutes later, I opened my school's website to distract myself. That's when I saw an announcement. The student whose footsteps had reminded me of him had been declared dead earlier that evening. I just stared at the screen. My heart dropped. I was so shocked that I couldn't even move. Story time. When I was younger, my cousins and I used to play hide and seek at my grandparents' house almost every evening. The house was pretty big, so there were lots of places to hide. One day I decided to hide in the storage room. It was dark, dusty, and full of old boxes. I squeezed into a corner and stayed completely quiet. After a while, I heard everyone running around looking for me. Then I heard one of my cousins shout, "We found everyone." I stayed quiet, thinking they were trying to trick me. But the voices started sounding confused, then worried. Finally, I came out of the storage room. All my cousins were standing outside staring at me. I laughed and asked, "What?" One of them looked pale and said, "That's impossible." Why? Because they had already checked the storage room twice, and nobody was there. Story time. This happened when I was staying over at my friend's house. Around midnight, we were both lying in bed watching videos when his mom opened the door and told us to stop using our phones and go to sleep. We said okay, and she closed the door. A few seconds later, my friend suddenly grabbed my arm really hard. He looked terrified. I laughed and asked what was wrong. He whispered, "Why did you answer her?" I said, "Because your mom just came in." He went completely silent. Then he slowly said, "My mom left for the night shift an hour ago." Before I could say anything, we both heard 3 knocks on the door. Then his mom's voice said, "Boys, open the door. I forgot something." My friend immediately covered my mouth with his hand and whispered, "That's exactly what she said the first time."
Story time. This happened to me when I was staying at a hostel. One night, I woke up around 2 a.m. because I heard someone quietly calling my name. I thought it was one of my roommates, but everyone was asleep. I ignored it and tried to go back to sleep. A few minutes later, I heard it again. This time, it sounded like it was coming from outside our room. I got up and opened the door. Nobody was there, but at the end of the corridor, I saw one of my roommates waving at me. He whispered, "Come here." I started walking toward him. Then suddenly, I heard a sleepy voice behind me say, "Who are you talking to?" I turned around. All of my roommates were still in their beds, including the one who had just waved at me. When I looked back down the corridor, there was nobody there, and the lights at the end of the hallway had turned off. Story time. My cousin lived alone. Every night before sleeping, he locked his bedroom door. One morning, he woke up and found the door wide open. He thought he had forgotten to lock it. So the next night, he locked it again. Same thing, door open in the morning. This kept happening for almost a week. Finally, he put a chair against the door so he'd know if someone entered. The next morning, the chair was exactly where he left it. But the door was still open. That's when he realized something. Someone wasn't opening the door from outside. Someone was opening it from inside. Story time. My friend once received a call from his mom while he was staying at his cousin's house. She told him to come home immediately because someone had been knocking on their front door for the past hour and refusing to speak. He rushed home. When he arrived, his mom looked confused and asked, "Why are you home so early?" He said, "You just called me." She looked at her phone. She had no missed calls. Then both of them slowly looked toward the front door, because someone was still knocking. Subscribe, or whoever was knocking will knock yours next. Story time. When I was little, I used to visit my grandparents' village during holidays. The houses were far apart. There were barely any streetlights. And at night, the whole place became completely silent. One night during a power cut, my cousins and I were sleeping in the living room when we heard someone knocking on the front door. Not loud, just slow knocking. My grandma immediately told us not to move or make noise. The knocking continued for almost 5 minutes. Then a woman's voice outside softly said my uncle's name. It sounded exactly like my aunt, but my aunt was asleep right next to us. I still remember my grandma whispering, "Don't answer it. If it knows your name, it means it already heard someone call you before." Nobody opened the door that night. The next morning, we found muddy footprints outside the house. But they stopped right at the wall. Like whoever was there never walked away. Subscribe or you're the next target.
Story time. When I was in school, one of my friends forgot his water bottle in the classroom and went back to get it after everyone had already left. A few minutes later, he came running back to us looking terrified. He said he walked into the classroom and saw someone sitting in the teacher's chair. He thought it was a teacher, so he apologized and grabbed his bottle. But as he was leaving, he looked back. The person was still sitting, completely still. Not moving, not blinking, just staring at the door. The next day, he told our teacher about it. She laughed and said, "That's impossible," because the classroom had been locked the entire evening. Subscribe, or the ghost will get you at night. Story time when I was younger. I slept over at my friend's house for the first time. Around midnight, I woke up and saw him sitting upright on the floor beside the bed, just staring at the corner of the room. I asked what he was doing, but he quietly said, "Don't talk too loud, she'll know you're awake." I thought he was joking until he slowly pointed toward the closet. The closet door was slightly open, and I swear I saw someone standing inside it. The next morning, I asked him about it, and he looked confused. He said he slept the whole night. If you want more horror story like this, make sure you subscribe. Story time. Have you ever been half asleep at night and felt like someone sat on the edge of your bed? Last month, it happened to me. I woke up around 3 a.m. because I felt the mattress sink beside my legs. I thought it was my cat at first, but then I remembered my cat was sleeping outside my room. I was too scared to move, so I just kept my eyes closed pretending to sleep. Then I felt breathing near my face. After a few seconds, I heard whispering really softly, "Don't open your eyes." I stayed completely still until morning. When I finally got up, there were dirty wet footprints on the floor leading from my bedroom door to my bed. This is a true story that happened to me. So subscribe if you want more horror story I've experienced. Story time. This happened in my school hostel. There was an empty room at the end of the corridor that everyone avoided, but no one ever said why. One night, the lights went out, and I had to walk past it with my friend. Halfway down the corridor, we heard knocking from inside that room. Slow, like someone asking to be let out. My friend laughed and said it was just pipes. But then the knocking stopped, and from inside the room we heard my friend's voice whisper, "Don't listen to him, I'm right here." I turned to my friend standing next to me, but he wasn't there anymore. It's a true story that happened to me. Subscribe if you want more true horror story about me.
Horror story. For the past few days, I've had this horrible feeling that something is getting closer. Every morning I wake up, it's closer. Every night, I try not to think about it, but I can't. My friends are scared too. Some are pretending to be brave. Others have already accepted their fate. There's no way to stop it. No way to escape it. And tomorrow, it finally arrives. The exam.
Subscribe to help me survive.
Ding dong, I know